Hi folks, and welcome to the Filmomec channel, and this time I'm in the kitchen again, but I want to introduce you to another forest resource, and I want to prepare a little wintertime treat, which I love to have in winter, and what I am talking about are these little guys here. Sloe berries. The botanical name is Prunus spinosa, because this is what it is. They are belonging to the plum family, and well, they got some seeds in it, and these you want to avoid because they contain anthocyaninic acid and amygdalin. Well, if you consume one seed, I don't think that will be much of a problem, because accidentally it happened to me, but you shouldn't consume them on a basis that you get more than 2 or 3 or something. But for sloe gin, it is not absolutely necessary that you remove every seed. If you want to, you can, but this is a lot of fuss to do. So it's not that necessary. As for the sloes themselves as fruit, they are really astringent, and they have been used in diarrhea treatment. They are rich with antioxidants, phenolic acids, and a lot of antioxidants, as I said, and they have been used for treating coughs, inflammations of the mouth, and also they have some diuretic properties, and they have been successfully applied in treatment of the kidneys and bladder. So these are actually quite good for you. Just make sure you don't consume the seeds. Also the leaves contain the same poison. So as I said, it's not absolutely dangerous. If you consume one seed or something, that's not a big problem. But make sure you don't get too much of them. What I want to do now is I remove all the stems and the leaves, and because I really harvested them rough and tumble, and in order to wash them, prepare them, stick them in the soup now, in order to make sloe gin. And I think the recipe's for another day, because what I want to do is I want to put them in the fridge, because they are ripening really early this year, and there is rule of thumb that you should harvest them after the first frost, but I can't wait that long, because I think they will spoil, or so I will just put them into the fridge. What this does, it removes a little bit of this tanginess, and bring out the lovely fruity flavor, and well, really looking forward to this. And it's sort of a ritual, I think. I have been making sloe gin for ages now, and actually this is something I somehow it belongs to Christmas for me. Little sip of sloe gin, and well, they are also good for you because they are really rich in vitamin C. You can also dry them, and but then you want to remove the seeds and want beforehand, and you can put them in tea, and really great if you put some if you combine it with dried wineberries and dried ash berries or elderberries or something, and maybe I will do this year too. So nothing to see here. I will put them into this sieve and wash them and continue cleaning them. And I want to see one. If you get these little stems, I remove those too because they add some bitterness, and that I don't want that. It's a little, almost a little like sort of a meditation to me, and I remember the times when I used to sit in the kitchen around the table with my grandma and my mother, and we were preparing mushrooms and berries. This is something that I'm really fond of remembering, because as a kid this was cool, because you foraged for the mushrooms and you brought them home, and then you were sat around the table, and grandma was telling old stories or fairy tales and what have you. She was from Eastern Prussia, and actually I have this. I don't know exactly, but I have the suspicion that she still somehow worshipped the old Prussian gods still, in a folktale manner or something, and as is, she knew a lot of fairy tales and told them, and she I've shown you the old potato peeler knife she used for that, and that's the other part of the picture, and I would really love well, I would give a lot if I could experience something like this. But as is, maybe it's my turn, and so part of that is I'm why I'm talking to a box in the kitchen that's not even mine. But I think there are a lot of stories to be told still, and well, get yourself, if you still got your grandma, ask her about the stories she wants to tell, or she can tell, because those are memories you will keep, and this is a real treasure to keep in your heart and soul. And well, that said, on a more prosaic note, well, you can see, if you are suffering from stomach problems, you can use one berry. You must, don't quote me on that, by the way, and you might not be able to stomach them, but if you get stomach cramps or something, you might want to take one berry, or maybe three, in order to counteract indigestion or something, as a medicinal. But well, they are really astringent, they are really tangy, and so be careful around that. As usual, I want to add a disclaimer that natural remedies are not a cure for everything, and you should be very careful around using personal medication with natural remedies and natural medicines. They can be pretty potent and they can be pretty helpful. And actually, they have saved me more often than not. That's not what I'm saying. But on the other hand, be sensible. This is what I want to say. And I trust that you are all grown-ups and that you are all not completely adult in the brain. So I trust you will act responsibly around natural remedies. Also, follow the 3 parts rule: 1 part for nature, 1 part for other foragers, and 1 part for you. Because these berries are also a really valuable food source for birds in winter, and leave something for them, because, well, the cute little fellows will be really grateful for anything to eat in the dark and cold season. And if you're sitting around a fire and sipping your sloe gin or something, you might be able to relate to that, because I think this is a real treat, and it also is for the woodland animals. And so leave something for them, because they deserve it. And they are relatives, actually. And my father used to make fun of me every time we went to some wildlife park or something, and called the wild pigs my relatives, and in order to make fun of me. Not a great thing to do with a little kid, and I was furious always. And nowadays I would feel honored to be called a relative to these awesome animals, and that's how life goes. And he would be pretty mad that it wouldn't work anymore. I dare say. So I hope that this was halfway helpful. This is not the last thing you've seen about my sloe gin, but I'm taking it slow. But I will put these into the fridge, and after that I will come back to you as soon as possible to show you my recipe, which is a little bit different, as some you might come across on the webs. I don't, maybe not too different. It's not the next big thing, by the way. But you might find that interesting, because I put some spices in. It's an old family recipe. And yeah, I make some for the elderly gentleman I'm caring for too. You need to be a little bit careful and put that away really thoroughly, if you get my meaning right. But well, everyone deserves a little treat in winter, and especially if times are dark and grim. This is a way to add resilience. If you get something to sip, and a good book, and a little bit of tea, and this is what I want to say. There's so much abundance at this time of year, and if you take that in sensibly and responsibly, you are really rewarded by, well, something like whimsy. And nothing wrong with being a little bit whimsical, and love me an armchair. Don't have any, but definitely want to find one. Would love to make some sort of a curbside find or something, in order to have an armchair to read in, and it needs to be just a little bit rotten, just a little bit abused, and and old, so that it has exactly the right atmosphere, if you get my meaning. And if you are sitting in your armchair and you're sipping a little bit of slow gin and have a cup of tea, in the meantime, maybe even some scones or some cookies you made. Well, I don't need a lot more in the dark and murky season, because, well, that's that's the abundance and the joy of life to me. It's you bring in you are actually, I'm working a lot these days, bringing in all the goodness, and but this is a really great thing, and I think this might be a solution for a lot of issues we are faced with as mankind. But I'm getting philosophical again, and you know, has something to do with my first coming into contact with preparing berries or mushrooms this time of year. Um, my grandma always also became sort of philosophical around when were preparing stuff, and she never failed to say some sort of thank you. Not really. Well, we didn't talk a lot about God or the gods. I don't even know. I don't even know whether or not she believed in the old gods or in the Christian gods. Don't know exactly. I actually don't know. And thing is, it doesn't need to be. I think it's enough if you're being grateful for what you got. And the thing is, I'm not. I'm really actually, well. That's the reason I use the hashtag poverty survival. I'm legally poor, obviously, and I'm struggling a lot these days, financially, and but I don't I don't like to think myself as poor, because actually I think I'm rich. My life is rich, because, well, I got a lovely woman. I got unfortunately, she lives on the other end of the land, and this sucks. And times not really kind to us at the moment. But well, you can't count what you don't have. You can only count what you have, and I'm really grateful for this woman who is by my side, and I'm really grateful for these humble berries, and there's always something to be grateful for. And don't let people lure you into a sense of well, there's poverty and there's poverty, and you can own your life, and you can reclaim your sovereignty. And I think this is important, and I think these humble berries go a long way as towards reclaiming the world, and your gratefulness, and just, as I said, your sovereignty, because gratefulness goes a long way to reclaiming your sovereignty. As paradox as it might seem, we think about sovereignty as something that is all powerful or something, but that's not the case. Sovereignty is deciding to share, to live the what's it called? Minogishigat in Ojibwe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. The good life, and this is something I try to live by. I want to live a good life, regardless of concepts like spiritual concepts or something. I think this is spiritual, but I want to keep it simple because I don't know. I don't want to claim there's this or that, or I don't know. It's the great secret, and this is why Native American spirituality does appeal to me, and without appropriating it, by the way. Um, this is another issue I want to emphasize. It's there must be something that's the same for all humans, and it starts with simple things, and well, like preparing the berries and being grateful for it. And if it be permitted, I want to say Gije Miigwech for because it just seems so appropriate to say it in Ojibwe and rather than saying it in English. And I'm really grateful for the teachings of people like Anton Treuer or James Fukalich, and apologies if I keep forgetting the pronunciation of your real name, your real names. I try to learn, but that's hard with just some internet videos, and I don't claim to speak Ojibwe. I really want to, but I really want to speak the real deal. But today I don't. To date, I don't even understand how the words are formed. I just know some phrases, and I want to adopt the mindset, not in order to take that from these awesome people, but in order to understand them and to treat them fair, to reverse the colonialism and to find out what's the equivalent in our collective mind and soul. And this is the reason why I do what I do, and why I also collect the slow berries, and why I try to make do, and why I try to be grateful, and I could also say Bidankian. Maybe that's more appropriate, or something, or something in Nether German, in Platt, because this is the language that was spoken around my parts, and that my grandaunt and granduncle spoke, and that a lot of my elder family members spoke, and maybe that's more appropriate. But on the other hand, they didn't have the mindset. They were industrial workers, and they were just cogs in the big machine of colonialism and industrialization. So that's not the language of rewilding. They were not wild. They were just citizens, and they were just workers. And if you get my meaning right, it's just but it doesn't matter. I can also say thank you in or danke in German or English, and I mean it. I'm grateful for this, and I will think of the sweetness of summer and early autumn, when I will be sipping that slow gin in winter, when well, I fear that my winter will be pretty grim this year, and I'm a little bit afraid, but I know that things like this will aid my resilience. And I think I don't tell you this because I want to complain, but I think that this is the same for a lot of you guys. And that I want to say that there are that there are methods of gratefulness, of saying thanks, that also enhance your resilience in times when times get rough. And I'm not saying you should take to the bottle either. And you might also make some syrup from it. And I also recommend you can make syrup from it, or tea, as I said, or jam or something. That's not what I'm saying. It's I'm not advocating getting drunk on sloe gin. I'm advocating really savoring every drop, because every drop is the essence of the days where you found the sloe, of that bird over that sang in the bush, or of that squirrel you saw on the way, or that the lovely color of the leaves, or the scent of the air, or something. And remember that and be grateful for that. This is what I want to say. This is something really important. So that's said. As I said, this will not be the last thing you have seen of my sloe gin, and maybe even some other preparations I want to show you. I will be foraging for sloe tomorrow again, and so thank you for watching. Hope that was halfway entertaining or helpful or even comforting or something. And thank you a lot for being here, for being around, for watching, for everything. And I hope that you stay sane and healthy, and make the best out of the times, and take all that goodness into your heart and soul, and to keep it in for winter, to keep it for a time when maybe times are grim or something. There is goodness in the world, and there is something good in the world, and regardless of what people want to tell you, that sloe bush, even if the worst of worst happened, I think the sloe bush will still be there, and this is something comforting to know, and because, well, you need some hope. You need something tender and whimsical and beautiful in your life, and you deserve it. And it's there. Even if you're poor, it's there, and you can reclaim it. You can prepare some sloe. You can get in some mushrooms or some hawthorn berries, and there's a lot of abundance in the world, and the world is a really good place. It's a great place to be. Nature is a great place to be, and I feel it cares, and this is something that really aids my resilience in these times and days. And so that said, as I said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.